Well, some tough words from Westchester County Executive Rob Astorino on Live from the state capitol with Fred Dicker this morning. The Republican hopeful for governor took aim at the state's Independence Party, going so far as to call it, quote, part of a very corrupt system. And joining us now via Skype is our political analyst, New York Post state editor, Fred Dicker. And Fred, you certainly get people to say interesting things, although it seems as if this wasn't something that just came to him today.
No, and you know, really, Rob Astorino, the Republican, Liz, did not originate this. Interestingly enough, it originated with Jay Jacobs, who used to be the state Democratic chairman, Governor Cuomo's chairman for a while. He's now the Nassau County Democratic chairman. And Jay Jacobs urged both Astorino, the Republican, and Governor Cuomo, the Democrat, to reject the Independence Party line, saying the party is a fraud, that anyone who's committed to reform would reject it, not accept its nomination, and the effect of that would be to kill off the party, because a party has legal status in New York, and the Independence Party does have legal status. If its candidate for governor gets more than 50,000 votes, and that election, of course, is once every 4 years. So what has happened now is that Jay Jacobs, unexpectedly, is saying both these candidates should help get rid of the Independence Party. Astorino on my show, as you noted, quickly said yes. We're still waiting to hear from Governor Cuomo.
What happens next here, Fred?
Well, there's going to be a lot of pressure on Cuomo to take a stand on this, because Jay Jacobs is not just some ordinary soul, and Governor Cuomo says he's committed to election reform. It's widely seen in political circles, Liz, that the Independence Party is not a real party. It's an organization that's for sale to the highest bidder. It doesn't stand for anything. Some of its members have been indicted, some convicted. So the governor now, who talks a good talk about being a reformer, is in a position of having to say either yes or no to his former state chairman, when the Republican candidate for governor has already said no, he won't take that line.
I was just looking through some stories, versions of this story later in the day after his appearance on your radio show. And the Daily News, for one, reports that the Astorino Truth Squad blasted out an email criticizing Astorino for taking nearly $15,000 in contributions to the Independence Party.
This was a classic case by the Cuomo people. That's the Truth Squad, so-called, is a Democratic operation to shift attention away from the fact that it's Jay Jacobs, the former state Democratic chairman, who currently is the Nassau County Democratic chairman, not Astorino, who is issuing this call and challenge. So they want to make it a story about Astorino. Astorino just happened to be on my show when Jay Jacobs issued this call. So I think that, by the way, is an answer from the Cuomo forces. It looks like Cuomo, who's determined to run up as high a vote total as possible, wants to keep that independence line. Plus, his allies, interestingly enough, in the Republican Senate, and he's very close to the Republican senators, they control a lot of the Independence Party. And for them, I think he probably wouldn't want to see them killed off either.
All right. Well, I know you'll be following it for certain. Pardon me?
I said it's complicated.
Yeah, it is complicated, but it's a good one, and we know you'll stay on it for us. Thank you, Fred. And you can hear Fred on the radio, and obviously there are great reasons to listen. Live from the state capitol every weekday morning, 10 to 11 on Talk 1300 AM.